Zatch Bell by Makoto Raikou is one of my favorite shonen series of all time. It is as shonen as a shonen series can get. It is defined by its heart, by its friendships. It has this wonderful summon system that is quite literally powered by heart. It's a series that embraces its tropes head on, and I love it for that. It's a series I also wish I was more capable of explaining why I love so dearly, but you ever love a series because of just the love and passion that is poured into it? Because to me, that's what Zatch Bell is. That vibrancy, it comes off of every page. It operates on that passion. And all of that can make for a very shaky sequel, I would argue. Even more so when, like Zatch Bell, you break typical shonen convention and have a wonderful ending. Now, we're fairly familiar with classic sequel pitfalls, especially the kind that come out after a decade or so from the original, the most cynical kind of sequels. The kind where you can feel the cold seep into our characters, where former characteristics are stripped away because of growing up. It's a fairly depressing view on maturity, I would argue, but that's the direction they've chosen to take. Does that make them all inherently bad sequels? No, but it obviously makes most of them a lot of them. I don't know why Zatch Bell 2 is being made. Maybe it's not steeped in sentiment, and I am merely naive. But what I can tell you is that it does read like it is. Zatch Bell 2 is a celebration of Zatch Bell. It is a love letter to these characters. The heart that once filled Zatch Bell has not faded. Real quick, Zatch Bell was a 100-man and Momoto battle royale to decide who becomes the Demon King. The last remaining Momoto becomes that. Zatch successfully does that in Zatch Bell 1. And also, they don't die, but when their books are burned, they get transported back to the Momoto world. It was a pretty great way of, pretending that the stakes were kind of there while not necessarily being there. It really let the emotions flow and letting them kill off everyone that they wanted without necessarily sacrificing everybody. I don't know why that worked out so well, but it did. I always felt the emotions when it happened. Zatch Bell 2 manages to raise the stakes without sacrificing the characteristics and tone that makes Zatch Bell what it is. The series is now able to coexist with this more violent and visceral threat. Death is present here. We hear of comrades that have been lost. Zatch takes the responsibility of King head on. The pressure, the sacrifices, the Momoto that fight for him, all of that is present in this older Zatch. But it's still Zatch. To be as cliche as I can, Zatch, Taya, Brago, Kanchome, whoever else shows up, despite it all, it's still you. Sorry, that was way too much, I apologize. And I just find that to be far more interesting for development. Maturing, growing up, that doesn't replace who you are, it is literally a part of you as you go on, it just adds on to you. Now let's leave all that sentiment behind and talk about action. Over the course of the series, our characters learn a variety of new spells. Offense, defense, utility, whatever. Zatch and Kiyomaru are some of the strongest examples of the creativity of the power system in the series. They grow increasingly in sync as the series goes on. They gain greater understanding of their spells, of how to combo them, the importance of movement and positioning. Kiyomaru is up there for the madman of shonen. He is built for all of this. I love him. We return, Zatch Bell 2, and it does itself a little trope. Our king reappears, but his greatest spells have been stolen. He's been samized. Oh god, oh why, oh wait. See, Zatch, while his spells may have been stolen, still has Kiyomaru, and what the duo do still have is a wealth of experience. We come to the first half of the 5th chapter, and all they have is their first spell, Zakare. And the duo just picks up where they left off last time, seeking out targets, feinting, positioning, using the environment to their advantage. Kiyomaru just has such an in-depth understanding of this combat. More than just raw power informs this system. Like their maturity is this great additive development. We haven't taken away their powers to weaken them, not primarily at least, but to hype them up. You've stripped away all of these powers from these characters and instead just revealed the incredible foundation that lays beneath. Brago shows up and doesn't even need spells to kill his first enemy. He just punches their head off by the end of it. He has Sherry participate for friendship. Brago is a great showing of all of this development that's really stuck with all of these characters. He reappears to us as this just behemoth of a creature punching holes through whatever he wants, and then immediately turns around, caring for his partner, using his spell in such a creative way, using the gravity of it to apply pressure to the wound. Brago would have never done that in part 1. Brago's doing it now. In just those 3 panels, we see so much growth in Brago's character. And then he turns back around, makes sure that his opponent understands to never underestimate the partner of Brago, Sherry Belmont, and they both tear right through him. I love it. That wonderful kinetic action that defined the series is still there in its endgame form, and it is so cool getting to experience that using the starting toolsets that they once had, but now in these completed forms. It makes for such a gratifying read. That's the word that defines Zatch Bell 2 to me, gratifying. It is so gratifying to read as someone that grew up on the series, knowing that as the older cast slowly comes in, it is going to be them. A little worn, a little hurt by what they've gone through, with the sacrifices that they've had to deal with. But none of that has taken away the quirks that makes us love them, that makes Zatch Bell what it is. That's what makes Zatch Bell 2 so good. It's Zatch Bell. I worry that I've in part made Zatch Bell 2 seem like a series that only rests its laurels on nostalgia when it doesn't do that. It uses nostalgia really well, but also the new stories written for it are really quite beautiful and have made me cry like 3 or so times maybe. Momon isn't even a good character in Zatch Bell 1, and he's one of the people that made me cry. Sorry, Mamoto. The new villains are clearly going through it. Most of them are under perpetual threat of death. One of them made me bawl. It's a beautifully written series, it really is. It's not just nostalgia. The new plot points are very interesting. The threats aren't just visceral, they're abominations. Makoto Raikou loves himself an abomination. You should read Animal Kingdom. Lots of those in that. I don't know why I said that. Momon is a nice arc. He's not that bad. He's a little annoying, but like, he gets better. It's a good arc. I don't know why I said that. It's stupid.